Welcome back to the John Mendola Show here on WILK. Penn State football, of course, going on later today, and our high school field hockey teams playing for state championships today. So obviously our best to them, and the Wyoming Valley West will be going at 12 o'clock today. And again, some of our opponents here in northeastern Pennsylvania over on the football side, the Valley West is waiting for a game today at 1 o'clock. Of course, that is all the way down there in Philly, so we'll see how Valley West gets a matchup going, and we'll get you that score here with our friends at Valley Wyoming Seminary and how they're doing today. In Valley View next week, of course, looking forward to playing their big game, and they're going to have a big one. Could be against Archbishop Wood. Well, let's talk some baseball. And Paul McGloin in studio with us. We got a couple of guys we're going to talk with. And Paul, welcome into the show today. Electric City Baseball Softball Academy and the East Coast Sandhogs. I love the name. You guys are out there doing it all year long, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate you having us today. Just kind of like what we call an active rest period right now, where we don't have a lot of kids throwing or putting in a lot of high stress work, but getting in the weight room, doing some off season strength and agility and speed work.
And let's talk a little bit about the guys that we have with us today. Tell us first where the East Coast Sandhogs play and your schedule during the course of the year.
We're based out of Scranton, but as you know, there's been a million travel teams now come through the area, so when it's kind of saturated the local talent, so we decided to expand, and we had players from 5 or 6 different states over the last 2 years, and we've gone as far north in our summer and fall schedules as Boston, as far west as Nashville, and as far south as Fort Myers, Florida. So it's a big commitment, on the behalf of our players and families, but we feel it's definitely something that's worthwhile in terms of getting them exposure and proper development.
Coach, as you said, there's a lot of people out there playing baseball, and it can be a lot of fun, of course, and it takes you a lot of places. But you got to have some great parental involvement here, and these guys have to come and punch the clock and work. And I'm sure you see that with guys. This the serious stuff these guys want to play.
Yeah, it's unfortunately most of what you see in travel ball is not what baseball should be about. To be brutally honest, but it's and it's not the reason. Excuse me, not the reason why we get into coaching either. A lot of these things we see, but fortunately, there are some good things about it in terms of getting players exposure and bigger tournaments, bigger showcases, and also helping to be a part of their lives. And hopefully, you're not only helping them become better baseball players, but you're helping them become better persons.
And, of course, we got some of these guys that are with us. Tell us a little bit about Sean Gilby before we get over to him. Tell us a little bit about what this guy's all about.
I say it this way, from a tool standpoint, just a raw tool standpoint, he's the best player I've ever coached under 18. And, that isn't a knock on any of the players we have right now. It's just a statement about where he's at in his career. There's a lot of professionals out there in the scouting profession and these ranking systems that consider him, the best player in the state of Pennsylvania, one of the top 100 high school players in the country. He lives in Reading, Pennsylvania, and played with us all year. And he's an infielder. He's verbally committed, or he signed a scholarship last week to go to the University of Tennessee. But depending on who you talk to, he's definitely going to have some bright prospects come the June draft. And we have Jake Mustello. I've known Jake since he's about 9 years old. He's one of 3 returning players we have coming back to the Sandhogs next year. Probably the most versatile guy I have on the team. Super strong, exceptional arm, could play any position that you ask him to, could definitely swing it. He'll be a 3-year starter for North Pocono High School. And I think his attitude and his character are things that are going to carry him a long way. He's going to play college baseball in an exceptional program. It's just a matter of where and when he decides.
All right, let's welcome in Sean Gilby here on the John Mendola Show here in WILK. And Sean, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you are a senior, and you play the infield. Used to play some football, so pretty darn good athlete overall. Tell us a little bit about playing baseball and how you started playing and what you really enjoy about it.
I started playing when I was about 4.5. I haven't dropped the bat since. Baseball all year mostly. I mean, I haven't really stopped yet. I continue to work every day almost, going to Lancaster to work out. Yeah, that's really it.
How about some of these guys you met with the East Coast Sandhogs? Talk a little bit about some of the players on your team.
This had to have been my most fun year yet. I mean, me and Jake became real good friends throughout the year. Coach McGloin, couldn't have asked for a better coach. A lot of the guys are just family, really. It felt like you're hanging out with your best friends every single day you got on the field with them.
Little things you work on over time with the game of baseball. Let's first talk about the hitting aspect and what you could do at the plate.
Baseball, like hitting, it really just comes easy for the most part. I just try to work on more of being a better leader than a baseball player that I can be for the team.
Let's get Coach McGloin in here and ask about some of those things as a hitter. Coach, tell us a little about him at the plate.
Oh, controlled chaos is the easiest way I can describe it. There's some days you come out and you see something. I've seen him hit balls, 420, 430 feet with wood, and you think to yourself, wow, I mean, this kid's 17 years old, But the great thing about Sean is, he was very open all year to working on his, not only obviously the mechanical aspect, of the science and everything we talk about, but he was not only open to making adjustments with the swing, but he was also open to the mental approach and developing a routine, which is so important, is an important part of hitting. And I saw an improvement, not only with his performance in games, but definitely about his approach in practice and things we've had to do throughout the year. It's very difficult when you travel this much to, be able to find time to practice here and there. But we made time, and nobody takes more swings on the occasion Sean does. You
get a guy like Sean who comes up from Reading. He's not just coming up for a half hour. He's coming up for pretty much a full day, I'm sure, to put in punch the clock and put in the work.
Absolutely, talking hours. He's the kind of kid that he's going to hit till his hands bleed, and he always wants another bucket or another bucket. And you sit there and you go through series of drills, or whether it's just basic live batting practice, and you just sit there and talk with him. And his swing's a little bit different because he's a high leg kick guy, and he likes to lift the ball and create leverage. So it's a little bit different than what you see of most hitters coming out of the coal region. So it's something that we've been cognizant of and working with his swing, and it's something we never tried to take away from him, just tried to sharpen and improve.
All right, let's get back to Sean Gilby here on the John Mendola Show. And Sean, talk about traveling so much and being able to, carry yourself around, and here coming up for a full day here with Coach McGloin.
Travel ball started in June when we first went to Massachusetts, and then we actually won that tournament coming back. And on that Thursday, I left for Florida for PG National, and I think I was home for maybe 1 or 2 days throughout the month of June. And July, I think I was only home for probably four days maybe. So travel ball pretty much consumes most of my summer.
Well, you're a busy guy. Tennessee, talk about what interested you with the recruiting process, why you said that's where you want to be.
About freshman year, I started talking to Coach Vitello when he was at Arkansas University. And, I fell in love with Arkansas right from then, but they didn't have the options that I needed to go there or the resources, so he understood that. And then I was going to take myself to St. John's, and then they had a coaching change, and then Coach V got the coaching job at Tennessee, and we talked it over while I was actually in Nashville with the Sandhogs, and I ended up committing that weekend while we were down there.
Well, congratulations on that. And of course, there's still a lot to be said with baseball between now and then for you. Tell us about your family. You have a couple of siblings with you as well.
I have 4, but I didn't write them down on the sheet, but I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, Xavier and Angelito, which stands for Little Angel, and then Florangel, which stands for Flower Angel, and then my sister Brianna.
That's pretty cool. Of course, everybody doing their thing, I'm sure, in your family. You're doing the baseball thing and doing a heck of a job, one of the best in Pennsylvania. And, of course, we appreciate your time, and thanks for coming up today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Sean Gilby there from the East Coast Sandhogs. Coach McGloin, tell us a little bit more about Jake Mustello as we get ready to talk about him. I know you went into some stuff about him being at North Pocono and being the starters. How about his commitment overall and what you've seen from him as far as a baseball player, and then, of course, being a really good student as well?
Yeah, we got tired of telling him no, and when he wanted to come to the academy, hit so often on his own. So we hired him to work the front desk, and I just gave him his own set of keys and the alarm code so he could just go in there and hit whatever he wants. So I can definitely tell to a college coach that working extremely hard is not something that of which he's afraid. And he is an exceptional student, and like I said, I've known this particular student athlete since he's very young, and I always say he might be giving you a run for your money because he likes to talk.
Yeah.
So he definitely might be a talk show guy somewhere down the road.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Let's welcome in Jake Mustello here on the John Mendola Show. And Jake, let's talk about you playing ball there at North Pocono with your friends, and now, of course, playing with the East Coast Sandhogs and meeting a lot of different people.
Oh, well, Coach Jardine just runs an overall great program at North Pocono, and I love to play for him. So when I go from high school to travel baseball, it's overall just a great experience because you got two great coaches that know how to run a great program.
And let's talk about your positions out there. You play a couple different ones. Well,
for the Sandhogs, I play third base and I catch. And for high school, I just strictly catch.
Okay, and talk about catching. Back in the day when I played, catching, man, not too easy on the legs. How about nowadays? What's it like? Of course, you wouldn't know what it was like way back when, but some of the different equipment and what they have to do as a catcher here in 2017.
Well, overall catching, I mean, I feel it's the easiest way to get recruited. You're always in the action. You always have a way to show yourself off. In my opinion, it's also the hardest position because you got so many responsibilities. You got to be in charge of the entire field. I mean, overall, I just enjoy doing it.
Do a good job in the classroom. Talk a little bit about that grade point average of yours.
Well, I got a 3.6, which I'm extremely proud of, and I try to always keep it up to allow myself to be open to any college that wants to talk to me.
And some of those favorite subjects you have in school, I know you enjoy history.
Oh, yeah, very much. I enjoy overall learning about the country.
How about your family? Tell us about them.
I have a little sister, Kylie, and a little brother, Jared.
All right, and I'm sure they look up to you, huh?
Well, I sure do hope so.
And as far as your goals down the road with baseball, where do you hope to take it?
I hope to take it as far as I can. I mean, if the farthest I could go is professional baseball, then I'd love to do that. But if I can only go to college, then I'll only go to college.
All right. Well, we wish you well, Jake. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jake Mustello there from North Poca via the East Coast Sandhogs. And Paul McGloin again with us today and talking a little bit about the East Coast Sandhogs. Of course, what he does at the Electric City Baseball and Softball Academy. And still staying busy here in November, Coach?
Yeah, pretty much. You'll see a little bit of a lull, which is to be expected, and it should be. I mean, there's so many kids that play baseball all year round, and not to create any misconceptions, but you and I have talked about this before. We all played a ton of sports growing up. Multi-sport athletes. We don't ever want to discourage that. So we often just tell the kids, play as many sports as you want until you get to a point in your high school career where perhaps you're forced to a decision. Where you start to realize that maybe you're getting more attention in one sport versus another. So, the holidays coming up and kids taking breaks and kids are tired and they should take breaks. And, but after the holidays, you get into January and then, towards the end of January, we call it the February panic, which is people start trying to fly and come in there now because they realize they have Little League tryouts or, junior high tryouts or whatnot to get their kids prepared after whatever sport they were playing in the winter.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in today and tell us a little bit about your fellas here, and we wish you the best. Have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, thanks. Same to you. Thanks for having us.
All right, Paul McGloin there with the East Coast Sandhogs, and two special guys, Sean Gilby, one of the best around in the state of Pennsylvania and high recruit there in the nation, and Jake Mustello, one of our own here in North Pocono. He's pretty good in his own right, that's for sure, for Coach Brian Jardine. Well, we come back here on the John Mendola Show. J.P. Boleski is going to join us. He is a AHL referee via Pittston Township, and then Yogi Roth still coming up on the show as well. It's 10:39 here at WILK. Let's head out to our local State Farm insurance agent, Jen Ricky Loophole. Break like a good neighbor. Jen Ricky Loophole is there. We'll be back at WILK.